I'm going to ask my dear friend Itai Jeffries to come to the stage, and they are going to be sharing with us a personal story of healing through reconnecting with traditional foods.
Miku, kana habnenebi, good morning everybody. Mima taluk nawa oninewa Itai, hinigo yesa, ingat maganaga nagutskai wat nerewa himonti. I just said hello, I'm the one who stands strong, and I come from the Yesa people. We're known as the Okanichi Band of the Saponi Nation, smallest tribe of North Carolina, and we are a state-recognized tribe in that state, originally from where the Roanoke River and Dan Rivers converge in Virginia. And we got pushed down into North Carolina in the 1700s, and we've been there ever since. I also introduced my clans. I'm born of the white people, and I'm a child of our Bear Clan. So that's who I am. I just wanted to tell you a little story today about sassafras, which is a medicine that I grew up with. I grew up knowing my great-great-grandmother, and so I'm really lucky and fortunate to have that. And it's because in my family, being from a good southern rural family, we have babies really young. So I was able to know so many generations. There's even a photograph in my family of 5 generations sitting there, and I was that 5th generation sitting in the picture. And I remember distinctly, everybody's family, I think, has a medicine that is their most go-to medicine, and or the ones that their family likes to use the most. And for my family, that was sassafras. So the reason I remember my great-great-grandma was because if you walked into her little house, which was a little farming shack, if you walked into there, you just smelled sassafras in the summer. And so that was really beautiful to me. And growing up, I even made a game out of it, because I would go and I grew up on 75 acres of land, and so I would go through and try to find as many sassafras, and I would count them. And I'd go back and I'd tell my dad about how many sassafras I found, and he would always tell me, oh, it's not about how many you find. It's about whether you can remember where they are, because we got to take care of them and we have to know where to harvest them. So I always had this relationship with it. But my childhood was not always that great. People ask me now, when did you come out? When did you come out as LGBTQ, all that stuff, plus, right? And I always say, I didn't know that I could be in. It seemed like everybody always knew stuff, and like little kids would pick on me before I even knew what any of it meant. They would pick on me, and I was harassed, assaulted. Even in 2004, I was chased on foot and then by car by these 2 guys who were on the football team in that rural town that I grew up in. That town's called Roxborough, North Carolina. I try to limit my time there even now. But I remember that feeling of just also coming to learn about the LGBT community when I went off to college, and it feeling like it didn't really resonate with me too. Like, that wasn't home either. And I was really struggling to figure out what did it mean for me to identify within that spectrum. And so when I went to college, I went to this little place. It was a private school called Guilford College in North Carolina. And they have a relationship with my community, because several of my cousins and relatives have gone there and graduated there. And they helped me out, and I got an achievement scholarship to go there as well. And so I was there, and I was really fortunate to meet Auntie, because my dad tried to, stay away from a lot of the things, the official stuff. So I met an auntie who was on tribal council while going to this college. And we met and we were talking, and she sent me an email later at some point after we connected quite a bit, and asked me to come and meet her at the tribal office. And I was kind of nervous about that. I'm like, the tribal office, Anyway, I go in there, and there's a circle of aunties there, of women. And they were all elders, especially to me. And they said, we just want to share something with you, that we see you. We see you, and we know who you are, and there's some things we expect of you. And he started talking to me. One of the things that they said to me was that they knew I was Two-Spirit, and that's okay, and that's a good thing. And one of, this is one of those moments where everything started to change. I was really struggling through my first year of college. I found it to be very difficult. I was failing through first year of college English, and it was really hard. But everything turned for me at that moment, and everything I did after that point was in service to my people. And one of the aunties who would work with me later on is from the Monacan Nation of Virginia and also Saponi. And so we're a relative of her. And she said, I want to tell you a story about this medicine, sassafras. And I'm like, I know sassafras. I know sassafras. Sassafras is my healer. Sassafras is my medicine. But I had never heard this message, and I realized why I was always so drawn to sassafras when she told me this, because sassafras, she said, is our teacher. It teaches us about the two-spirit people. She said, sassafras is a tree that teaches us about our villages, about diversity, and in particular, gender diversity. And so that first leaf that you see there, she said that leaf is the most plentiful on the tree. It represents the woman. There's always been more women in the village. We can't explain why. We don't know where men go or what they do, right? But there's more women in the village, and that's an important leaf because she brings in all of that sunlight and converts it to energy, right? The second leaf there, that represents the men in our village. They're important. They're on that tree. But there's the third leaf, and that leaf is you. You belong here in the village. And so what I ask of you all is to think about the ways that these medicines present themselves to us, because it's not just the medicinal value, like I shared yesterday. It's not just about what nutrients they might give us. Right? It's about how they present themselves to us, what plants they grow next to, whether they grow down by the river, the different ways that they show themselves to us teaches us a lesson. And this lesson didn't stop there. That story didn't stop there with the sassafras. But it's also that third leaf, the one with the 3 lobes that looks kind of like a dinosaur foot. That's the way I thought of it when I was a kid. That is the way that you identify sassafras. It's an unremarkable looking tree. Bark, very undistinct. But you identify it because it's the only leaf in that southeastern forest, and it grows all the way up the northern coast as well. But it's the only leaf in that forest that looks like that has that funny shape. And so she said, when you went back in our villages back in the day, that's how you knew there was medicine there in the village, was because you could see the two-spirit people. So I carry that with me and I cherish it because that meant everything to me. And I went on to join that group of aunties, and we were part of a group that was called the Okanichi Traditional Health Circle. And that was my entrance into the type of work that I do today with the Seattle Indian Health Board. And so I'm very grateful for this teacher that came to me, and very grateful for all the messages and for them to believe in me and to tell me that there was a community that believed in me and valued me at a time when I was really struggling with who I was and what it meant to be someone like myself. So I share this story with you all as well because there are medicines and there are teachers and there are so many things in your community. And just because you haven't heard it yet doesn't mean it's not there, right? So pay attention to those. And when you interact with these plants, even if you're going out there and you're going to go study the micronutrient value, right? Take a look at that plant, honor it, put down an offering. When we go and harvest, we always put down an offering because those are our first teachers. And so in the way that I was taught, we go and we put down some of that tobacco and we say thank you. And when I'm not going there to harvest as well, when I see her or I see the other medicines that I use and my family use, I greet them. I say hello. I think I'm actually a really annoying person to hike with. Because I stop, every few feet, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at it, it's my sister, look at the fireweed growing, and then I'm telling somebody what fireweed does, and then I don't get very far, and there goes another one and another one. And I'll speak to the same one over and over as well, so I can be a little unbearable. But anyway, I just wanted to share that, and I want to offer a song. To me, when I think about this conference, I think about all the beautiful messages and all the excellent wisdom that I've been able to hear and encounter over the last few days. And it's truly incredible to hear from all the different people working in different disciplines. But I also, just like I said yesterday, I'd like to remind that this work, talking about the plants, is spiritual work too. It is. Each of these is spiritual. And so I want to offer a song that this medicine that I'm talking about here, the Sassafras Sister, makes me think about. And it's a song to honor two spirits. And I'm going to lower this microphone because, yeah. Nomba mampi onkyanti ye. Nomba mampi o ajine se. O ajine se. O ajine se. O ajine. O ajine. Nomba mampi ye, nomba mampi ye, nomba mampi ye, o ajine hise ando azteca e oe, e nomba mampie, nomba mampie, nomba mampie, o ajine hise oe oe. Bilahut. Thank you.